All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to peel back the layers and all those beautiful, world-changing promises we keep hearing about artificial intelligence. You know, we hear these grand, really reassuring statements from the leaders of the AI revolution all the time. And it's a comforting thought, right? This idea that the most powerful technology of our age is being built with our best interests at heart.
But what if that promise isn't just a mission? What if it's also a really brilliant business strategy? In this explainer, we're going to dig into the idea that these super altruistic words, well, they might be designed to lure us all onto this beautiful island of convenience, right before we realize it's actually a cage, and there's no easy way out.
Okay, so let's start by listening to that beautiful music, that enchanting song that these companies are singing to all of us.
I mean, it's a whole chorus of altruism, isn't it? You've got OpenAI, Anthropic, Google. They're all singing this very similar, very reassuring tune. And this melody, it's designed to do one thing: build massive public trust, to make us all feel safe and sound as we start plugging these powerful tools into every single corner of our lives.
So why do they even need to sing this song? Well, because in high tech, the goal, it's not just to compete in the market. The goal is to become the market. And to pull that off, you have to play by a totally different set of rules.
Okay, first up, you've got the snowball rule, or what economists call increasing returns. Think about it like this. Building that first AI model costs billions of dollars, but making a copy of it for a new user, that costs, well, almost nothing. And this creates this incredibly powerful feedback loop where the winner just gets bigger and faster and eventually pretty much unstoppable.
And then you've got the party rule, network effects. An AI platform is basically like a giant party. The more of us who show up to use it, the more developers want to build cool new tools for it, and guess what? Those new tools attract even more users, which then attracts even more developers. It's this powerful cycle that creates a massive gravitational pull, all toward one single platform.
Look, these are not new tactics at all. It is the exact same playbook used by the big industrial empires of the past. Standard Oil, they controlled the physical pipelines. AI giants, they control the computational pipelines through these huge cloud partnerships. Microsoft famously crushed competing browsers. Now AI companies use their terms of service to block rivals. See? The game is exactly the same, only the players have changed.
So, how do they actually build this cage around you? I mean, how do they make it so incredibly difficult to leave once you're inside? Well, the answer is this really powerful concept called switching costs, or, lock-in.
And they don't just set one trap. Oh no, they set 4 of them, and they all work together beautifully. First, there's the money trap. You've just invested way too much to start over. Then, the knowledge trap. All your company's private data, your secret sauce, it's now stuck inside their system. Then you've got the brain trap, where your own team becomes totally dependent. And finally, the legal trap, where the fine print in the contract literally builds the bars on the cage.
But that third one, the brain trap, that one is arguably the most powerful and, honestly, the most frightening. This is the exact point where a tool stops being just a convenience and starts feeling like a life support system you can't unplug.
And listen, this isn't just some abstract theory. The research firm Gartner, they've put out this really stark warning. By 2030, half of all businesses could be facing irreversible skill shortages in their most important roles. Think about that. As we keep outsourcing our thinking and our skills to these platforms, our own ability to do the work just starts to fade away. We literally become unable to function without the tool.
And the legal trap? Oh, it makes the intention crystal clear. This is a direct quote from OpenAI's own terms of service. You are legally forbidden from using this service to develop models that compete with them. Let that sink in. They are literally using their contracts to stop you from building your own way out.
But, maybe the most chilling warning of all doesn't come from outside critics. No, it comes from the very people on the inside, the ones who are actually building this technology. Just this past June, in 2024, a group of current and former employees from the top labs, we're talking OpenAI, Google DeepMind, they published this desperate open letter. And in it, they said with just chilling clarity that these companies have powerful financial reasons to avoid any kind of effective oversight, and that they simply cannot be trusted to police themselves.
And that warning was echoed very publicly by John Leakey. He co-led the safety team at OpenAI right before he resigned.
And he came out and said that the rush to release shiny products was just consistently taking a backseat to the crucial work of safety. This is basically the sound of the architects of the cage screaming a warning to all of us.
So, this all comes down to a crucial point, right? We need to understand that exact moment, the moment this technology stops being a choice and starts becoming a necessity. When does it cross that line from just being a product to being a utility?
Think about it. A product is something you choose to use, like a brand of coffee. But a utility? That's something you depend on to function, like the water coming out of your tap. And the core argument here is that these AI platforms are being deliberately engineered to become utilities, where switching is so incredibly difficult and expensive that it just stops being a realistic option for anyone.
And that brings us to the final, critical question we all have to ask ourselves. The cage, it isn't being built with steel bars and force. It's being built with convenience, with efficiency, and with that beautiful, beautiful promise of a better future. And the real danger in all of this, it's that the door closes and locks so quietly. We might not even notice it's happened until that one day we finally decide we want to leave.